They'd never taught you to choose yourself. Not in school, not at home, not in society. They taught you to be polite, to be quiet, to be strong for others, to make people comfortable, but they never sat you down and said, "Hey, you matter too." Welcome back to Deep Solution. I'm Nora, and today I want to talk to you, not loudly, not aggressively, but honestly, like a real conversation you should have heard a long time ago. From a young age, you learned something without realizing it. You learned that being loved meant being useful. Being accepted meant not being difficult. Being praised meant putting yourself last. So you adapted. You smiled when you were hurting. You said, "It's okay," when it wasn't. You stayed quiet when you needed to speak. And slowly, choosing yourself began to feel selfish. But here's the truth nobody told you. Self-sacrifice without self-respect is self-destruction. Think about how many times you ignored your feelings just to keep the peace. How many times you stayed in places that trained you because you didn't want to disappoint anyone. How many times you said yes when your whole body was screaming no. You weren't weak, you were trained that way. They told you to be patient, but they didn't tell you patience has a limit. They told you to be kind, but kindness without boundaries becomes suffering. They told you to forgive, but they never taught you when to walk away. So you kept giving and giving and giving, until one day you looked at yourself and thought, "Why do I feel empty?" Choosing yourself feels uncomfortable at first because it goes against everything you were conditioned to believe. You think people will leave. You think you'll be judged. You think you'll be alone. And sometimes, yes, some people will leave, not because you're wrong, but because they benefited from the old version of you. And that hurts. Let's not pretend it doesn't. No one talks about the guilt that comes with choosing yourself. The voice in your head that says, "You're being selfish, you're changing, you're not the same anymore." But growth requires change, and choosing yourself means choosing honesty over approval. Let me tell you something important. Choosing yourself does not mean you stop loving others. It means you stop abandoning yourself. It means your needs finally matter. Your mental health matters. Your peace matters. Your dreams matter. And no one, no job, no relationship, no expectation is worth losing yourself for. You were taught how to survive, but you were never taught how to live. You learned how to function, how to adapt, how to endure. But nobody asked you what you want. Nobody asked what lights you up. Nobody asked what makes you feel alive. So now you have to ask yourself. Choosing yourself sometimes means disappointing people, and that's okay, because disappointing yourself repeatedly is far more dangerous. It leads to resentment, burnout, quiet sadness, that feeling of living someone else's life. And I know that feeling. Maybe you do too. There comes a moment in life when you realize that continuing the same way is more painful than changing. That moment is powerful. That moment is the beginning. It's when you stop asking, "What will they think?" and start asking, "What do I need?" Choosing yourself looks like rest without guilt. It looks like boundaries without apology. It looks like saying no without explanation. It looks like walking away without proving your pain. And yes, it feels lonely at first, but that loneliness is not emptiness. It's space. Space to meet yourself again. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to outgrow people. You are allowed to choose peace over chaos. Read that again. You are allowed. No permission needed. Let me say this clearly, because you may have never heard it before. You are not selfish for choosing yourself. You are responsible for your life, your energy, your future. And responsibility is not cruel, it's honest. One day, you will look back and thank yourself for the moment you stopped shrinking, for the moment you chose courage over comfort, for the moment you decided your life was worth more. That moment might be today. Not dramatic, not loud, just quiet and firm. If you're listening to this right now and something inside you feels seen, that's not coincidence, that's clarity. Take it seriously, protect it, act on it slowly, gently, but truthfully. They never taught you to choose yourself, so now you must teach yourself. One decision at a time, one boundary at a time, one honest moment at a time. And I promise you this, the version of you who chooses themselves is not cold, they are free. This is Nora, and this is Deep Solution. If this message spoke to you, sit with it, share it with someone who needs it. And remember, choosing yourself is not the end of love. It's the beginning of self-respect.